Welcome to the Washdown podcast. And tonight's guest is Ana Odorisio. And we've had Ana on the podcast before. She came back to give us an update, and we had a great conversation. Had a good time, lots of laughs. Hope you guys enjoy it. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. YouTube, Spotify, Amazon Music. So all those different places. But here you go, the Washdown podcast with special guest Ana Odorisio. Surprisingly, I have found that is a common thing. Like, I've had multiple guests who have done that. I've had multiple guests who do that this week.
Yesterday.
It's like, hey, bro, people want to hear what you got to say, so project.
And then I'll just be like, so anyway, I was talking the other day.
Yeah. Exactly. And remember from the last time you were here, turn your eyes, not your head. Or if you're going to turn your head, do one of these things.
Is that I never realized that's why they, like, if you were watching people, they're like, they do a full turn. And
yeah. It's like you're in a Batman costume and you can't turn your neck.
Yeah.
I'm Batman.
Can you do that one more time?
I'm Batman.
I so want Bane to come out of the back.
I wish you would have told me that sooner, because I have a mask. It's like an elevation mask that mimics elevation, so it like makes you feel like you're breathing with less available oxygen, and you look like Bane when you wear it. I could have brought it for you. I was born in the dark.
And I had to climb to the line. Wow, we just went DCU here hard.
I know.
I want to go home.
Do you want us to go Marvel? Is that what you want?
I just want to go home.
You said we'd lose together, but you weren't there. I don't have a good Robert Downey Jr. That's time travel.
Are you the dude who's playing the dude?
Playing the other dude. Yeah, that voice I can do. Which, that movie cannot be remade again either.
No.
Is that Tropic Thunder?
Yeah.
Yeah. The like, he's got like body paint on him or whatever.
So I watched some interviews about that, and everybody kind of said the same thing. If you're doing, so we all know blackface is wrong.
Yeah.
Unless you're a Navy SEAL. That's a comedy routine as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
But shit, what was I saying? Oh, but because of the way he did it, because they were making fun of blackface. Pretty much everybody gave him a pass and he did it in a funny way. That's what it was. A bunch of guys it was one of those street interviews, and that's kind of what everybody was saying. I saw it on TikTok.
Oh God.
Do you have a TikTok?
Yes. I've never made a video or posted anything. I just watch videos.
But that's going to be the new thing, because he wants to go on this fitness weight loss journey for the podcast.
Do you?
No.
And that's what he pitched to me.
Mm-hmm. Not anymore.
I said,
Jeremy
okay.
ruined it. Jeremy Jeremy'd it.
Well, I'm on Weight Watchers right now. I just started that. I mean, I'm game. Let's do it together.
Is that where the hummus came from? And
the
carrots,
celery.
And the celery.
Yeah.
And
the apples,
the
and the
tomatoes.
lunch meat. Yeah.
But fantastic idea. We'll use your TikTok account and the podcast Instagram, and we'll document it.
I still can't believe you have a TikTok.
Mm-hmm. Really? You can't believe that guy's got a TikTok?
Well, I mean, yes and no. It's just like that.
I just like watching the funny videos. And then no matter what, every time you get on there, it turns political. I'm like, God damn it. And then I got to close it out.
That's because that's your search history, dude. It's an algorithm.
I don't search it. I just get on there and start scrolling.
It doesn't matter what you stop and watch. The algogram reads that.
What you pay attention to.
Then you think there'd be more girls in bikinis
more
dancing.
Boobs?
Yeah, definitely more boobs.
You're like, maybe if I talk about it loud enough near my phone.
Hey, phone. Boobs.
I like boobs. Boobs.
Female boobs. Let's clarify. Female boobs.
Phone's like, I'm sorry, you did not clarify.
I'll start getting pictures of me bouncing around. I don't want to see that.
Oh, holy shit. All right. Course correct. Back it up.
Hey, man, that's controversy. That's what you want.
Yeah. No, that's not even the lowest form of humor. That's just terrible. Just
Chris's
terrible.
boobs?
Chris, that's terrible. It's just, it's terrible. Terrible.
Hey, man, he got canceled too.
How did he get canceled?
He retired. They're just canceling the show. So we were watching Hotel Transylvania the other day, and there's in the opening when all the monsters are showing up, the mummy, Murray, and Frankenstein are talking shit, and then Frankenstein's like, "Hey, you're gonna pay for that," and then because he's not put together yet, and then you see Murray and Dracula talking, and Frankenstein's lower half sneaks around and then drops ass right behind him, and looks like Murray did it, and I laugh every time. And then, of course, the witch comes over and sucks up the fart. It's all green, and then throws it in the fireplace, and fire shoots out. And I laugh every time. And actually, Jane does too. I'm like, I love it. Adam Sandler put a fart joke in the beginning of his movie. Hey, man, if you're gonna make a fart joke, you
I
gotta
don't even
do
know
it
what
right.
to say to that.
I don't.
Fart jokes are funny.
The thing is,
that's what I'm saying. Fart jokes are funny.
It's not that they're not funny. It's just it's you.
It's
All
the
right, fuck, I
fact that
laugh
you're a
every
40-year-old man with no kids in the house,
Yeah.
and you and your wife sit and watch Hotel Transylvania.
All three of them.
All three
The
of
fourth one sucked.
I mean,
Yeah.
I can't judge. I mean, my wife and I do we watch
Yeah, the Crudes.
funny things, but it's just
Awesome.
like you and your you.
Oh, I love cartoons.
You.
Yeah.
Just you.
I still
over
watch
here.
cartoons. Looney Tunes. Danny Phantom.
Anyway, Anna, thanks for coming to the show again. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me back. I do want to ask, how many people have you had back more than once?
More than once. Let's see.
Besides, obviously,
Well,
You
I'm
know.
forced to be here.
the people that are part of the show.
we've had We've had James Kelly a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
I think we've had him actually 3 times. We had,
I thought it was just twice.
it might have been just twice. I don't remember. I'll have to go back and look.
Dana was 3.
Dana was 3 times. Doug and Darren Niemeyer, we've had them back a couple times. We had them separately and then together.
I bet that was fun.
It was an interesting conversation for sure. I enjoyed it immensely.
How many times has Rachel been on?
She has been on
Twice.
2 times, I think. Well, 3 if you count the one, because me, her, and Dana did one.
So 3.
One night, so 3 times. So really, I mean, this will be episode 116.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, we might have had, 6, 7 people back
Something like that.
more than once.
Cool. I
So-
feel special. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Oh,
you.
absolutely. Well, you would have been here sooner if you just, stopped getting sick. And
I've had to reschedule every time I've been here.
yes, you have.
And the next time I'll probably have to reschedule as well.
We'll just go ahead and go sick.
Yeah. Well, what
I'm
I'll
gonna call
do,
off
Sick of
sick.
Jeremy.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
it is.
what we'll do is we will schedule, a date, and then we'll schedule the
The
backup date,
which is actually
yeah,
the date.
which is actually the date.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. It's like whenever I tell, certain individuals of what time to be here,
Mm-hmm.
I really should tell them 30 minutes sooner so that they're on time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't look at me.
I was waiting for you to give me crap for being.
Nah, you're the guest. You get a pass.
Yeah.
I was here. I was here before 6:30.
I wasn't judging.
Yeah. Nobody said anything,
Okay.
Anna.
I-
You're getting defensive
I
over
felt it.
nothing.
I felt the tension.
I mean, she lives 2 minutes down the road.
Yeah. It's so far. It's
And I was like,
cold.
I have to get up off the couch. And
Yeah. We got to get the
Get out the
Subaru
door.
started.
I did. It starts right away though, so we're good. Do you want to make a lesbian joke now, or do you want to
Nope.
wait till later?
Nope.
Get warmed up first.
It's recorded. Nope. I'll just let you make them.
Chris is all about we're going to have some controversy until there's actual controversy that something could be construed as controversial, and then he's like,
Well, it's-
fucking got a zipper on his mouth.
Nobody can take a fucking joke anymore.
Do you think anybody listening or watching to this podcast is not going to be able to take a joke about lesbians?
She's got a point.
I know it's more of a hey, this was funny. I want to post it, and then all of a sudden I've got
Dude, I'm going to
protest
remind
outside
you.
my
I'm going to
house.
remind you of what I said the other night. We are too small to get canceled.
That's true.
Like, they're not going to worry about some dumbass fireman sitting in a basement talking
About
shit.
lesbians. Like,
Yeah.
come on.
I like lesbians.
That's what everyone else is doing. Talking about lesbians.
I saw another TikTok about that. It was some girl. It was a stitch too. And it was this girl's like, why do straight guys like lesbians? And this other girl had a Hershey's bar. He's like, this is good. What's better than this? Oh, another one of something I like. And then started hitting them together. I was like, I like Hershey bars too, so it kind of
You're like,
it appealed to me.
I just want the Hershey's bar.
She was cute too. I'm not gonna lie.
Which is why he needs to go on a weight loss journey.
I'm right there with you, man. I am.
So anyway,
fuck both of you.
This is a supportive space.
yeah,
Okay.
this is safe space, Chris. Safe space.
Okay, she held up a carrot. He goes, I like carrots.
And then you hold up another
Hold up another carrot, and then you got 2 carrots.
Yeah.
I got $1. I got $1. Hey, no, anybody? Come on.
I got nothing.
That's Little Rascals, man.
No.
Sorry about it.
Anyway.
You're probably too young for Little Rascals.
I'm right at the cutoff. My wife still gives me shit,
I'm
though,
talking
for not.
the movie, not the TV show.
Yeah.
We're all. I mean, I
Yeah,
watched.
we're all too young for the TV show.
I know.
Yeah.
I did watch the TV show.
On syndication
Yeah,
reruns.
doesn't matter. Still watch Dragnet. What's your point?
Gilligan's Island.
Emergency. I mean,
Yeah, that's still on.
Magnum PI.
I was going to say that's still on.
Magnum PI, I remember
the original. Yeah.
and watching it whenever it was airing.
Paradise Island.
Miami Vice.
Never did watch The Love Boat.
Nah.
I heard the theme song. I was like, nope. Golden Girls. I used to watch that though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Golden
like a
Girls
given.
got the
It was freaking hilarious. Even as a kid, it was funny. And then I watched it as an adult. I'm like,
This is
you
even
dirty
funnier.
motherfuckers.
Yeah, I feel like it's even funnier when you're older.
I think you can relate a little bit better to it and you understand the jokes a little bit
Yeah.
deeper. So, yeah. So anyway, what you been up to?
Just working the new job and, I don't
Taking
know.
promotional exams.
Yep, taking promotional exams.
So it was your first time taking it.
Yes.
How much stress was it? Be honest.
It initially I was like, I'm not like, I don't care how I do, because it's like I'm fairly young in my career. Like, this isn't going to be the only promotional test I'm going to take. I don't need to take it to get to a better spot. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to make this a low key thing. And then as I got closer and closer, I was like, oh my god. And it didn't help that we were also doing our inspector certification at the very same time. Mm-hmm. So it was a lot of like, okay, beginning of the day you're going to study this, and then second half of the day you're going to study this. And so, but I mean, it was different. It was different than what I thought it was going to be. But I'm curious though, because like, you didn't take the new test, did you? Mm-hmm. Shoot, because I wanted to see how it compared to the old company that used to do testing.
What I heard was it was significantly different.
Yeah. The feedback was better.
Yeah.
What I heard.
So
A lot of people were happy with the feedback they got. So now they know where to improve at.
yeah, which, I mean, if that's what you want to do is develop leaders and have people grow in their career and advance, you got to give them feedback.
Yeah.
You can't just give them this fucking made up number and go, this is what you got.
Here you are in this imaginary list that we won't tell you about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, well, why did I get this score? Mm-hmm. Well, because these are the criteria. Okay, well, it says that I got superior in everything, but I still got this low score. Yeah.
Congrats.
Yeah. Good job, buddy.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's 100 different ways to do a promotional exam, and not anyone is better or worse overall.
Some of them are worse. Some of them are better.
So I think it depends on your department and the size and what you're looking for and what you've done to prep for it by training.
Yeah.
So it has to be what fits your department and what part of the country you're in and what type of department you have. So everything's got to be tailored, and it's just trying to find the right fit. Mm-hmm. I've talked to other guys from other departments, and it's completely different. Yeah,
well, some departments do a straight seniority-based promotion. Some of them don't. Some of them, it's a competitive test, and the cultures of those seem to go in one of two ways. Like the straight seniority based thing from guys that I've talked to, they're like, yeah, information flows, everybody's helpful because there's no pressure of, well, I have to do better on this test so I can get this promotion and blah, blah, blah. And then whereas you get the competitive test side and everybody's like hoarding information and nobody wants to help each other out and all this. And I can see benefits to both, because for a competitive test, you want people who are going to study their ass off. They're going to do well, because those are the people that want to be promoted. Whereas if you look at a seniority-based system, well, all I got to do is wait, and I'm eventually going to get it.
Yeah, I'll eventually get
and
there.
And that doesn't give you a whole lot of incentive unless you're a self-motivator and you want to be better at your job. There's not really an incentive, because you can go do all this training and all this other stuff. It's not going to make a one dime of difference in your paycheck.
Yeah.
So I see both ways, but I don't necessarily think I think what you said is accurate. It depends on your department.
Very much so.
Yeah. And I do think it's interesting that the differences for the captain's test versus the versus the ADC test is that ADC, like, they don't promote you based off of where you land on the list. It's not, they don't necessarily go, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know what I mean? So it's like,
I think maybe we should change the topic.
okay.
I think maybe we might be getting a little bit too in the weeds.
Cool. Yeah.
So
no, I'm cool with that.
Yeah. So, and it's no secret that we try to kind of steer clear of department specifics. So, we like to speak in generalities.
Cool. Yeah. I can
Yeah.
I can make it work.
So if you want to have that conversation, we can turn the camera off.
Cool.
And have that conversation. But
yeah, no, I'm still learning what is like common for, like, what are common things for certain departments, and then what's like, hey, it's like, yes, every department has like an engine or a pumper or this kind of rig. You know what I mean?
But I mean, even that varies. I mean, like the guy that we were talking to this morning from New York, like it's not station, it's firehouse, and it's engine, not pumper, and it's ladder, not truck, and
and in other departments it's aerial.
Yeah. So I mean, terminology varies.
It all depends on what part of the country you're in.
Yeah.
Is it a steamer? Is it a pipe? Is it a nozzle?
Yeah.
Well, and even where I'm from, we call it engines.
Yeah.
And
a lot. It seems that's more common than pumper.
Yeah.
Just from like my.
See, pumper makes more sense because it pumps water.
Because that.
Yeah.
I think the engine comes from the old steam engines.
That would make sense.
That's I've never looked into it. That's just a guess.
Yeah.
But it makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because, like, when we're learning about fire inspector stuff, we learn about some buildings will have a fire pump with their suppression system, and so you look and see how it works, and then I was like it's basically like having like a little pumper truck in your basement, because it does
essentially
relatively the same thing.
Yeah.
So
they're confusing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to study that stuff way more. Well, but here's the thing.
I've taken multiple classes on those. And you know what I've learned?
What?
Nothing.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you start learning, and you're like, okay, this makes sense. And then you go to your next class, and it's completely different. And you're like, well, what the fuck? Well, I just learned this. But it doesn't apply here. And then, so it really depends on what you have. And then does it have its own water source or not? So, like in the cities, they're hooked into the water supply system, right?
Maybe.
Depending
in a bigger city,
depending on the city, yes.
Yeah.
But then now a lot of them have their own water supply, like you see in the East Coast on top.
Yeah.
So it helps to feed, and it's gravity fed, and then you have one down here. It's got an electric pump, and then does it have a surge protector or not? And how's it grounded? Is it grounded in multiple spots? And because I can have a power surge here, but my connection's here, so this part's affected, but my pump still runs because all of this is still good on another circuit. And then now, does it have its own retention pond? Because sometimes those are fed through that way. And you have multiple pumps, and is it a one-way feeder? How do I backfill it? And, which one overrides what? When does the override kick in?
Yeah.
Now, how's my sprinkler set up inside?
Yeah. They're all different.
What am I storing? So you could go into a building, a warehouse, and you can have multiple sprinkler heads, depending on, is it in rack? I've seen those.
Those are kind of cool.
And then what's the spread on it? I mean,
and what's the temperature release
when does
for?
It go?
Yeah,
is it the little piece of? It's not really copper, but it's kind of what it looks like. Little piece of flimsy metal that melts, that activates, or is it the tube with liquid in it?
These are all the things I learned in fire inspection.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, I would like to kind of touch on that because I think the last time that you were here, you hadn't been moved yet.
That's correct. Yeah.
So what was that transition like of finally being told you're not coming back out into the field and this is going to be your new thing?
Okay. I'm going to try to make this as general as possible.
Yeah. Well, just emotionally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was kind of there. My situation's still a little bit different because I still have an open medical, I'm still ongoing with treatment. So I haven't had that final stamp of hey, you're done. You aren't going back.
Yeah.
And this is where you're at.
Yeah.
So that kind of has been, I feel like it's been maybe not more harmful, but it's almost left that lingering. It's I kind of just want to know either way what my options are.
Yeah.
But I've kind of already told myself I'm not going back. Physically, I mean, you've seen when I get symptomatic. I mean, it doesn't take much. And
you hit a big pothole on purpose multiple times in a row.
You remember the conversation we were having just a couple podcasts ago about you being a dick?
Yeah.
Example.
So we hit one. Neither of us saw it.
Oh, I
thought it broke the car.
Yeah. I thought it broke your hip.
Yeah. I mean, we were both hurting. We never saw it.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, the car was swallowed up. I mean, metal hit.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is I'm, I think I talked about this last time, depending on the vehicle I'm in, if it doesn't have good suspension or and it's bumping, I can feel it in I can feel the palpitations because my pacemaker thinks I'm working out. So it's how in the world could I be on an ambulance where you're, flying down the street, hitting every bump and they're
You
just
should have seen me driving. You did what I thought I was drunk because I was swerving.
You were
I was swerving to miss pothole.
Miss, and I was like, all right, I appreciate it, man. Thank
Bam!
you.
Yeah. It's oh, that one hurt.
Yeah. So, so that part's been kind of, I've slowly come to terms with that of just accepting that I'm moving on to something different. Every once in a while, it's still there are people in our office that are kind of going through the same thing right now that I was going through that are, kind of in that same boat of they may not be able to return to the ambulance or, to a fire truck. And so kind of being around that is it just kind of brings back those old feelings of just being man, because it wasn't my choice to not be in the field. And I think that's what is the most frustrating is you spend all this time getting your medic and, you finally get somewhere where it's okay, I'm here, I'm on the department, I'm,
You're starting to hit your groove as a medic.
Yes.
And you're feeling good. You're able to do the things that you were trained to do and now you really understand it.
Mm-hmm. And you're doing it well.
Well, I saw you medic.
I'm a bit, not to toot my own horn, but I would say I'm quite a decent medic.
Hey, what is it? Is that a STEMI mic? No, it's instantly. You might want to start CPR. That never happened.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, were you in the room when I coded, or they were hey, do you know what that is? You're yeah, you want to start CPR.
Yeah.
You guys just find a new job.
Yeah.
So it kind of comes and goes in waves. I feel like it's kind of the same as kind of anything else. It's a grieving process and just it's grieving the person that I identified with, because in this field we identify as paramedics and firefighters and EMTs and first responders, and so it kind of felt like I had that almost ripped away from me of just not having that. There'd be times where I'd be out and about and you'd get anxious or you'd have you'd feel kind of self-conscious and you're I'm a medic. You're I've had people literally dying in front of me. This is fine. I can handle this. Yeah. And now you're I'm a fire inspector. You know, and not to knock on that. It's not that it's not a stressful or an important job. It's just
I think it's a critical job.
It's not what your goal was, and it's not what you spent so much time and energy and brain power to get to.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, and that's one of those things whenever, because we've kind of had that conversation of, you know, you get to that point and then you have it all taken away by something that was 100% like out of your control.
Yeah.
Like,
So if she would have wore a mask, she'd have went and got COVID, and she wouldn't have COVID.
well, I mean, yeah, because we're going to have a COVID advisory on this because you said COVID. Yeah, so
I know you were following the rules. I know you had your mask on. I know.
Well, but I mean, you know, going down that road it didn't matter. You can follow the rules, not follow the rules. You got it.
Yeah.
Some people were more susceptible to it. Some people not. I mean, you know, whenever Rachel had it, she had it here at the house. I was in the house with her for 5 days and finally got it on the 5th day. And it barely showed up.
That's weird.
Yeah.
I think I had it a couple of days before Jane got it.
I think I remember when you had it.
But
I was a little pissy
like
about it.
all the times, like all of the stations that I'd worked at where, you know, whole stations would get it and I wouldn't. Mm-hmm. But it took that long of an exposure for me to just get barely any of it.
Your body
Yeah.
was like,
Just like,
I guess.
Yeah, it's like, oh, well, everybody else is doing it, so
I
we're
guess
going to
we'll
just
jump on board.
Yeah.
Well, see, I just had like a sinus infection. That's all it felt like.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
I
was
blew my nose and I had pressure.
yeah. I
That
was
was it.
sick for literally I think 12 hours. Like
Really?
and I mean I was like I had a really really bad headache.
What do you have in the water here at your house? Can I get some of that, or
Just-
like what do you
Awesomeness.
guys got over here?
I'm not gonna lie. I wake up in the morning, piss excellence. So
You ever notice he's always doing something with his hands? Otherwise, he's like, I don't know what to do with my hands.
It's okay.
So-
I'm constantly
yeah.
like I feel like I'm like a judge. I'm like, okay, what
Yeah.
do you say? Okay.
no, I
Okay.
just for me, I don't really get sick that often. I never really have.
It's the hex bar. That's what it is.
That's
It's
100%.
It's the row machine and the hex bar.
It's the row
I knew
machine.
it.
Yeah,
I knew
and
it.
the cable machine.
Yep.
That's I attribute it to that 100%.
That's what it is.
No, it's probably because I ate a lot of dirt as a child.
Because I drank out of
You were
drank out of a garden hose.
Drank
you
out
were
of a
like
garden
last week.
hose.
You're
Yeah.
like as a child, but also last week.
Yeah.
You'd walk into
You know.
school after the weekend, your desk would be sticky, and you're like, what the fuck y'all do? But nobody cared.
Yeah.
Y'all shared a drinking fountain.
Yeah,
I mean,
Everyone's just like
Yeah.
using their whole arm, just
yeah,
you know, and then
yeah,
just
this is the way it was
Yeah.
back in the 80s and 90s.
yeah,
But
We weren't
I
sickly.
yeah.
I think it probably has something to do with that. Something to do with I'm fairly healthy. I'm physically fit.
What
and
are you trying to
just,
say?
No, I'm just saying.
I'm kidding. No,
Like my
yeah.
immune system's pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, and I think it was just one of those things. And then, you know, if you look at the different research and, you know, there's some research about blood type making you less susceptible and like all of these things. And I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
There's no,
It could be a number of things.
yeah. It could be just,
When
Yeah.
when it's your turn in the barrel, it's your turn in the barrel.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because who knows? The next thing that comes by could fuck me up horribly. But, you know, it is
If
what
it does,
is.
we'll do a drive-by and throw food at you.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Hey, here's a casserole.
We'll throw it. We'll throw it.
Throw it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't
it'll,
stop.
It'll get no.
Oh, no.
Don't
no,
stop.
no,
90 miles an hour.
Yeah.
no. Keep
that.
swerving to miss all the potholes.
All the potholes.
Yes.
And there are a fair number in this neighborhood.
You know what,
Just on this street, though. All the other streets are fine. But the one right in front of
Just
my house
you.
fucking sucks.
It's just you guys.
Yeah.
I do. The one thing I do miss about COVID was the no traffic.
Oh, yes. That was so awesome.
Yeah.
Wow, the road's wide open.
Yeah.
100 miles an hour. It is.
That are like
Everybody else was doing the same thing.
that are like going, you know, maybe not to the store, but like if you'd have to go somewhere, it's like there'd be nobody there, and now
Yeah, you're in and
everybody's there, and I'm like, ugh.
Dude, like
just
running
can't.
running emergency calls was fantastic because it was so
a
much
ghost
easier.
town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was so much easier. And I'll be honest, like I'd say the first month of COVID, maybe month and a half, our call volume dropped.
Yes, I do miss
drastically.
that.
I don't know.
Nobody called.
I was still recovering from shoulder surgery.
Yeah.
There was a decent dip because
Yeah.
everyone was afraid to even get in the ambulance, know. So it was like, all right, cool,
Yeah.
and you'd be like, okay, well, if you
One of the
would-
calls, it sounded from talking to people, it was the calls you ran were legit.
Yeah.
yeah, because everyone waited to the last minute to go to
Yeah.
the hospital, which I mean was not nice, but it was like.
No, I mean, if
Well,
you're sick,
you know what I
you're
mean,
sick,
but
you need to go.
yeah, but it
using
cut
emergency
down
services for
Yes.
legitimate emergencies
yes, it
and
cut
not
down
just
on the bullshit.
yeah.
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 I got an ingrown toenail.
Or like
I'm like, I'll fix that. Give me some tweezers.
oh, I've had this leg pain for 18 years.
Yeah, but
That's it.
2 o'clock on Saturday morning, that's whenever I need to go.
With 6 cars in the driveway.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll just follow you there.
Yeah. That's my
Okay.
favorite.
We'll meet you in the waiting room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, no, you'll get back. One bet.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So anyway, back to
So-
the transition.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that was just like, and I don't know, I think I had talked to you about it when I first got sick and I was at home and I had a lot of time on my hands. I started taking online critical care paramedic courses, and because the goal was eventually to get do flight medic. And then it was like, okay, cool. Like I got time to do that. Like, it'll be fine. And then it was like, no,
Can't hit a pothole. I don't think you're going to be doing that.
The turbulence from a
Oh, you'd be
helicopter.
fine.
They'd be like, what's wrong with her? She'll be fine. She's just
Yeah.
she's taking a moment.
She needs a new battery.
So, so that part was frustrating, but once I kind of started doing things on I don't know, not fully in a position but still able to help out with things around the department, that was really helpful, and just kind of getting back into the groove of like doing various outreach things, and I think that really helped just find that you can still, which this sounds so stupid, but it's like you can still have a purpose and help people not in the back of an ambulance.
Well, yeah. I mean, and that's the important part, is finding a new mission, finding a new purpose. And
I think we we always talk about the reactive and the proactive.
Yeah.
Where I think while you were healing and I was healing, we were being more proactive.
Yeah.
Doing education and talking to the public and answering questions that people don't normally get answers to. Of, hey, my neighbor had a house fire. I was watching and you guys did this, this, and this. Why? Oh, okay. And then you explain it to them, like, okay, it makes sense. It's organized chaos.
Yeah, it was definitely interesting to kind of look ahead and kind of see the obstacles that we face all the time and go, oh, like you really can kind of see it coming down the path a little bit if you just kind of pick your head up.
yeah.
Instead of just being like, all right, well, I'm right here and I got this and this, and it's like, oh, now I can look at that and go, hey, maybe how can we like either move that or kind of steer us in a different direction so that we don't hit that head on,
Yeah.
and we can go around it.
Well, and that is so important basically if you want to look at it as a company, is to look at those type of things and pay attention to the future. You have to have somebody that's doing that, because if you're just constantly day-to-day grind,
In the
and
weeds.
then in the weeds and everything is the same all the time, eventually you're going to hit that point where what you're doing that worked 20 years ago is not working now. And I mean, if you want to like talk about firefighting, like house construction, way different.
Yes.
Building codes, different. Standpipes, all of that stuff has changed drastically in the past 30, 40 years. If we're still just head down, knock the front door in, we're not going to be as successful as we had been in the past, right? Because you have to adapt and change with the times. And,
Well, a lot of our codes, that's what you're seeing change with codes and regulations, NFPA, the UL, the laboratories, all comes from mistakes. You look at your NIOSH reports. So, this is why these guys died. Okay, we're going to change this code to this.
Yep.
We need to do that before people die.
Yes.
And that was the point that I was making.
And I agree. But that's where we learn the majority of our lessons is from mistakes or, this house collapsed. Why this house collapsed? Mm-hmm. Nobody got hurt. Nobody died, but we got to figure it out.
Yeah. Or close call, near misses.
Yeah. Was it Underwriters Laboratories?
Yes.
Yeah.
They do a lot of those studies, and they got a lot of videos online.
Yeah.
And they're interesting to watch, but a lot of times you don't know how to implement the new information.
Yeah, I would agree.
Well, that's where training comes in.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's something that our office has been trying to accomplish, is trying to integrate more of, like, so from an inspector side, like, I mean, okay, first let me ask you, what do you think I do as an inspector?
I think you go out and look at standpipes and sprinkler systems and look at buildings and look for fire hazards. That's what I think.
That's a pretty decent, that's a pretty decent answer. And that's probably about, that's like 60 is maybe.
I'll give him a double.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a lot more to it.
Yeah, but I mean, that's so, like, that's the one part. The other part, which I didn't even realize, like, even when I first got into inspector, I didn't really fully understand what the job is and really what it could be, because you have some of these districts with tall buildings, or, like, kind of more high-rise structures, and it's like we get to walk through every floor, every room, we know every little, nook and cranny, so to speak, of that building, and it's something that we can share with the field crews. And so that's kind of our goal, is we want to share that information with the battalions and everything, and and kind of go, hey, you have this building that they have an external fire staircase for a 20-story building, and that's 50% of their exit. So that changes how you guys get in the building. It changes how you get people out, and so that's kind of something that we want to focus more on, because we want to be that extra set of eyes for you guys. And then vice versa, when you guys go into a building and you see something and you're like you don't have to know exactly what it is, but you're like, someone's going to die in there. Like, that's when we go in and figure out, hey, how can we kind of clean this situation up? Yeah. So that way you guys are safe. The people in the building are safe and can get out and aren't going to be in the way, or, becoming victims and things like that. Cause it really, and I'm sure you guys probably,
it's stopping. A big part of it is stopping fire hazards from becoming a fire.
Yes.
And reducing fires.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, you reduce your number of fires, and you're going to reduce your fatalities and your injuries, the wear and tear on your rigs. Your city's going to be safer, so your ISO rating is going to be higher.
Even something as simple as closing closing one door or two doors. Like so I like to do, I like to look at different big fires that happened, like that one in the Bronx that happened a couple of years ago, that apartment fire. And this is just kind of from what I've glanced at, but like it was started in somebody's apartment, and the door, when they walked out in the hallway, the door behind them did not close. So that's one door.
Yeah.
Second door was to the exit stairway. That did not close. It got propped open. And from those two, the theory is from those two doors, it went from a unit fire to a building fire.
Yeah.
With
because it gave,
the smoke.
Yeah. It gave flow path.
Yeah. And so people think that fires, they think it's something complicated or something that's extravagant. So when I go into these buildings, I'm like, no, it's literally you just not shutting that door could be the difference. So it's that kind of amazed me once I went from the the EMS side to transitioning into this. Was like, are you kidding me? I'm like, how is everything not on fire all the time? Like, did you guys learn that? Like, did you guys kind of have that feeling when you got into firefighting where you're like, what? You're like, like, this is what houses are made of, and it doesn't catch on fire all the time? Like, or, like electrical problems. Like, how is everything not on fire all the time?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I came from a little bit of I had construction background, so I kind of
you were in that world.
I was already kind of knew a little bit about it, not a ton, but enough to kind of know a little bit about it. What really kind of, like, from a safety standpoint, is I don't know how the houses aren't collapsing faster than they do, given the construction methods and the materials used now of those gusset plates, like how they ever got approved it makes
this little quarter-inch piece of metal is holding your roof
dude.
up.
You can literally take one of those in your hand and fold it over, small enough to where you could put it in a shirt pocket.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and I'm not talking. You ain't got to be a strong man to do it. It's thin ass fucking metal, and it fails super fast. Now, the bonus to that is, or the one caveat to that is, usually where they're at in the construction is pretty decent distance away from fire, unless it's an attic fire where it's impinged on, directly. So if you've got like a room and contents or something like that, it's not such a big concern. But if you've got some wiring in your attic or whatever, and that kind of sets some stuff off, then you can have problems. But then also, look, when is a majority of the fires that we run? They're at night or they're in the middle of the day when nobody's home. And then how long has this thing been burning? Mm-hmm. Okay, well, what neighborhood are we in? What's the construction type? Okay, we have an unknown time of burn. Okay, now we're here and we can see what the construction is. So we've got unknown type of burn or unknown time. And now we know what type of construction it is. And we know that fails in a certain amount of time. Mm-hmm. Where's the fire at? Like, how intense is it? Like, yeah. And then everything that's, all the stuff in this house. I got TVs and carpet and
TVs are horrendous.
Yeah, all these petroleum-based products. Mm-hmm. They're in every home.
Yeah.
They burn hotter, faster. I mean, yeah, you.
Typical rule is 15 minutes after flashover, and you should pull out.
Yeah, but when did flashover occur?
That's the question.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
That's the question.
How far into it do you get flashover then?
Depends. Mm-hmm. Again, building material. What's the furniture in the house? So you could have an older house with new furniture. That one now it's synthetic, so it changes.
Yeah.
Has the house been renovated? So is it new drywall, or is it still the old
plaster
stucco and or plaster or whatever? What type of wood was used? Was it the new wood that's been compressed a million times and it's shit?
Yeah. Or is it a solid beam?
Yeah.
Or is it a solid beam?
Yeah.
I will say it is exciting to be able to partake in these conversations now, because now I can be like, oh, I know what you're talking about.
So I read that in a book.
Yeah, yeah. I've seen that before. So I've heard that.
You don't know what you've signed yourself up for, Anna, because now that I know that you know and that I know that you're doing that job, guess who's going to get called whenever I'm on duty and I need an inspector?
Hell yes.
Good thing she's not in your area.
Yes, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not in your area, but that doesn't mean that I won't.
Doesn't mean that I'm not going to call her and go, hey,
yeah,
I need somebody.
Hey, guess what? Something happened.
Yeah.
And
see, what happened was.
Man, I tell you, my wife hates it. She hates, because it's like you can't turn your brain off. Mm-mm. Once you know something, you're like, well, I gotta check it. Like we stayed in a hotel. We went out of town a couple weekends ago, and we stayed in a hotel and walking down the hallway, and I'm like, oh, there's a fire extinguisher. I'm like, I should probably check that, make sure it's up to date. and then I'm like, okay, so our room's by the exit. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go make sure that door opens and make sure, okay, cool, like the exit's clear. Like, I mean, it's like I cannot turn my brain off. But it's like, I mean, I don't know. What do you want?
I walked to my hotel room. I'm like, I don't give a shit.
Well, I'm baby inspector. I'm like, this is still new. It's exciting. I like it. Like, give me a couple years. Like,
She hasn't gotten jaded yet. Let's have her keep
Let me
the level.
grow.
Fair enough.
Let me. I'm a child. Let me enjoy my
we'll
youth before I grow up.
That'll be your fourth appearance. Will be in a year.
Yeah.
I'll have like just like dark bags, and I'll just be like, just while she's smoking a cigarette. Just like, I don't give a fuck.
I hate fire extinguishers.
Down. Yeah, there's been a lot of fires in your area. Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
More vacant lots.
I don't have to inspect it next year. So,
how do you inspect a foundation? Well.
It's
still there.
Well,
it's there. So, yeah. So it's been a unique, weird transition, and I kind of try to just try to just be excited and, just kind of embrace the new.
I was going to say, it seems like you have a pretty good attitude about it, and you have been able to pivot, which I'm sure it was difficult. And, we kind of talked about that a little bit, but
a lot of pep talks.
A lot of therapy.
And
lots of therapy.
That's important, but also your perspective.
Yeah.
Like, that's something that gets overlooked because, you could very easily, glass half empty. This is not what I want to do. This is, and just not let that go instead of going, you know what? This is where I'm at. I'm going to make the best of it. And I can still help people. Mm-hmm. And I can still, maybe not in the way that I used to, but I have a mission. I have something to do that is valuable.
Yeah. And I kind of joke about, I'm like, I still have a patient. It's just a really large building.
You're not wrong.
It's the same thing. I got to make sure it's.
But you didn't always think like that.
No.
There was some pessimism.
Not.
Dude,
I didn't know.
It was normal. Don't get me wrong.
Well, and it was like I had no idea. I had no idea what I was walking into. Plus, I was walking away from something that I really enjoyed doing.
Yeah,
which is part of it. Just because what we were doing while we were healing wasn't really an official job, so to speak, and so.
Which, not to get into specifics, but I think it should be.
Yeah.
It to 100% be a department that we have.
Yeah. So that was really difficult, was to find something that makes you feel useful again and feel like you're part of a team and, like you have something to contribute. And then they're like, hey, you have to go over there where you don't know anything about anything and you might hate it.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Oh, no. Yeah. But it was either that or
no paycheck.
Yep. So I was like, okay, I can get on board. I can get on board with that.
It's definitely all outlook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how you want to react to whatever it is, and
making
the best of a bad situation until you figure it out.
That's called resilience.
Whatever, nerd.
It's true.
I'm not the one that looked up and ordered max headroom from freaking.
It wouldn't let me do it on my phone. I gotta do it when I get home. I gotta do it from the TV.
Oh my god. Yeah. So I'm gonna give you a little backstory, Anna, which I'm not sure that you know. But so Chris and I worked together for a long time at the same station, right?
Yep.
So we used to have this, like, we both like bad TV. Kind of like B movies, that kind of stuff.
I would never have guessed that at all. No.
Yeah. So we used to play this game with our old captain. He didn't know it was a game, but we knew it was a game. We would try to find the worst movie or TV show possible and see how long he would last. Yes.
Gamer was one of my favorites.
Gamer was fantastic.
It was a good movie. I enjoyed it because you knew what you were going to get.
So have
you ever seen Gamer
with Gerard Butler?
No, I don't think so. It sounds familiar, but I don't think so.
Worth a watch.
So the premise of this movie, right, is that you have little nanobots in your head that people can control, and
like The Sims.
Yeah, like The Sims, but then they change it to be like this Call of Duty thing.
Okay.
Yeah. So
it's a little both. Like you have that one world, and then you have your Call of Duty world.
Yeah. And they're using convicts, and Gerard Butler plays the main character who's been wrongly accused of like killing this person because he's like some elite soldier or whatever, and like the guy wants him for the game. So, but anyway, long story short, so that's the premise of the movie, right? Remember, I just said nanobots in your head that people can play you like Call of Duty.
Yeah.
So we're watching this movie, and it's a good, hour and a half?
Yeah, I think we're a good hour and a half. Hour 45.
Yeah. I mean, it's getting like, there's like 15 minutes left in the movie, right? Where he's escaping from this prison. And Spoiler alert.
Dang it, guys. I was going to watch it.
This movie's like 10 years old.
Yeah.
So, but
still worth a watch.
He somehow, like, this hacktivist group gets him like a bottle of vodka, and he drinks that. And like is all like stumbling, bumbling, whatever, and runs into this garage in the Call of Duty map, right? And then he makes himself throw up in the gas tank of this truck, and then he pees in it.
Yeah, logical.
Then he pees in it, right?
That's what I would do.
This is the point where our captain slams his hands on the table, gets up and goes, "This is unbelievable," and storms out. Not the nanobots in your head.
You know, I understand that though, because when it's like when something's so unrealistic, you're like, okay, my brain understands that. But when you make something that could be realistic and you just do a shitty job, I'm like, fuck this movie. I'm done. Like, you have lost me. Like, yeah.
You're talking
I
like
get
a
it.
really high proof of alcohol here.
Yeah.
That's maybe it was a diesel engine. I don't know. Maybe
It
they already had some
wouldn't have
gas
ran.
in it, and then he thinned out the diesel because it gummed up, and the green alcohol broke it apart to where it started. I don't know the mechanics behind it. It's a sci-fi
I'm not an
movie.
engineer. I don't know.
It's a sci-fi movie.
So it would not work in a diesel engine 100%, but it would work
Hey, man,
in a
and
gasoline
down Periscope,
engine.
he put whiskey into the diesel engine because it thinned out the mixture and gave him another 4 knots while they were hauling ass.
I wouldn't take mechanic advice from down Periscope.
Hey, man, he was an old drunk from World War II, all right?
He probably
Pretty
knows,
sure he
knows
knew
a
what he was
thing or
talking
two.
about.
Well, and it was in the script.
Yes.
So, but yeah,
I think it
so
was the same guy from Hoosiers.
no,
Did you
Was it?
guys?
No, it was Harry
No.
Dean Stanton.
yeah.
Not Hoosiers, sorry.
Did you
I'll stay with
guys
this, Hopper.
ever watch that movie with the killer tire?
No.
No.
I think it's called like Rubber. It's a possessed tire, and it just rolls along, and it kills people in the desert.
Jay and I have talked about watching it. We just haven't pulled the trigger yet.
Okay, I haven't
But-
either, but it's
Yeah.
it's. I
So
think
that
that's
wasn't
definitely
that wasn't the best movie.
Yeah, the worst was Night of the Chicken Dead.
I found it on Netflix. That's back when Netflix sent you the DVD, and I had to wait months
Yeah.
to get it.
And he brought that in. I got up and walked out of that one.
I watched
was-
the entire
It
thing.
was that
How was it?
bad.
awful. So awful. It
But
was
like,
great.
but like good.
No,
No.
Like it's so awful, it's good.
no.
It was so awful. It was awful, but I enjoyed it so much.
It was
because I bet him that he couldn't sit there the entire movie.
How
Yeah.
long was it?
It was about 90 minutes.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, an hour and a half.
And it was a
whatever.
painful 90 minutes.
I think-
and he sat there the entire time, and that's where I got my enjoyment from. I was like,
You-
you're dying.
You should have a side podcast like Mystery Science Theater where we watch shitty movies and we just comment on them.
That's not a horrible idea.
Because I got some shitty movies that I could bring to the table that are pretty damn
I
good.
love shitty movies.
Pretty damn good.
You have to figure out the technology to do that.
Starting with
Like
back
have us like in the look like we're in a theater like
Yeah. Yeah, we could definitely do Backdraft or
oh hell yeah.
episodes of Chicago Fire or Station 19.
Mm-hmm.
That, yeah.
I do
So
want
we're
to
gonna Fire Department Chronicles it.
Oh, fuck yeah. We're taking Jason's stuff.
I can't even with that.
We'll zoom him in.
Yeah.
I can't even.
No, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
I mean, 911 is just as bad.
Yeah.
It's worse.
I watched
Did you
those,
guys
I see
ever
those on
watch-
Facebook, and I'm like, makes my butthole pucker.
Did you guys watch oh god damn it, what was it? It was the ambulance crew, and it was like they were basically, it was kind of like Super Troopers but the ambulance version. And they
Talk
were
about sirens.
Yes, it was on
Yes.
USA.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was great.
good.
That was
I liked it.
very good.
That was like, some of these
like
are
those three
believable.
dudes and
Yeah.
like yeah.
Yeah.
I like
One of
I
them
like
was
the one where the
gay.
dude gets impaled.
I don't remember any of the episodes, but
I see that one pop up on Facebook all the time. He's got a piece of rebar sticking straight through him. He's all happy because he's gonna get paid at the city job.
Yeah, he's like, oh, this is
And
great.
he's like, I don't need to go to the hospital. He called it for his buddy who passed out when he saw him. He's like, doesn't even hurt. It's like, Jesus.
God.
oh no.
Yeah, that I can do. I can do that. That was really good.
See,
I
but
enjoyed that.
it's-
I wish they wouldn't have canceled it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was good.
That was
It was
funny.
a good show.
It's shows like that I think is like, and I'm being biased because I will sit there and I'll watch like NCIS or
I
you know
love NCIS.
like those type of
So
like
good.
cop shows. I'll sit there
CSI.
and watch.
CSI.
See, I wasn't a CSI fan.
The original when it
Las
first came
Vegas?
out. Yeah, when it first came out,
Yes.
we watched it all
I
the
never
time.
Yes.
watched it.
And that was actually pretty. I mean, like, yes, it's not
then some
realistic, but it's
No.
it's pretty
Yeah.
accurate.
And we
like the
watched
science part of it is.
Yeah, and some of CSI Miami was good, and then it kind of got off the rails. I was like, eh. Once your main core, your
We'd always
original
take
core,
off his glasses and be
Yeah.
like, "That's gonna be a silly situation or something stupid."
I love
don't
that.
know.
Then you
Like-
hear the scream.
But yeah, so I think like, and maybe it's just biasness from being a firefighter that, you know, I don't want to see shows like, because I think they're done they're not done well. Like they're done so unrealistically.
Well, that's that liberty Hollywood takes.
Yeah,
but you know what?
But
If
like
you watch
Sirens or Tacoma FD.
I was gonna say Tacoma's
something that's like it's funny and
pokes fun at it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's completely. Everybody knows that it's just.
Yeah.
There's no interpretation with that. You know that's not what it is.
Yeah.
yeah.
But like people will watch Chicago Fire or.
And they're like, oh, that's what they do. It's like, no.
Yeah.
No.
But if you watch one of those cop shows with somebody who's in
Oh.
the FBI or in CIS or whatever,
They'd be like, yeah, then that's
they're
not
going
what
to
we do.
motherfucker.
It's like watching. So like Bart and I, whenever we watch like any type of war movie or anything like that, is the same fucking thing. Like the whole time he's sitting there like, that's not right. That's not accurate.
That
He's
you
wearing
don't-
his gear wrong.
You don't carry that gun
Yeah.
like that. Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, just shut the fuck up. It's Chuck Norris, man.
Yeah. Well,
like,
that's
give
a
him a pass.
whole different ball game.
We know Uzis are not accurate.
Yeah.
Okay.
They are when Chuck Norris shoots them.
Yeah, they are.
He can do anything he wants.
Did you ever see the thing where who was it that did it? It might have been Brandon Herrera. Somebody else, I don't know, somebody on YouTube that went through like the stages of gun use in movies. So like the 70s they shot one way, and then the 80s all the movies they shot one way, and then the 90s, and then it's like the 2000s like, oh, they're shouldering a weapon.
I still like it when you see the old movies and they got a hold of their wrist.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Like, no.
Well, then
Makes you more
but then you have
accurate.
the flashlight in the other hand, so you can you can.
Well, I mean,
you know.
that one's not wrong,
No, you should have.
but you should have two hands.
How am I supposed to shoot it if I can't see it?
That's why when you buy a pistol, they have that little indentation. It's for a flashlight.
I
So,
should put a flashlight
And
on
it's
mine.
funny you bring that up because according to some other special operators, they don't like having lights on their guns.
I don't blame them because it makes you a target.
Yeah.
Like,
And
oh,
they
I
wanna-
can't see you, but I'm going to shoot your light, and I'm probably odds are good I'm going to hit you.
Yeah. I mean I can understand.
But I'm not going to walk
that.
around like this either. When I'm
Yeah.
But like if I'm at home, like I don't know.
There's enough light for me to see in this house. I don't need a light.
yeah,
Yeah, I guess that's true. My house isn't like it's not pitch, and even if no lights were on, like you could still see a little bit.
yeah, we got plenty of light in our house,
So
Yeah.
even at night.
cool. Glad I got that figured out.
Yeah.
One less thing I have to worry about.
Exactly.
And I'm pretty sure if my dog's going ape shit.
Yeah.
Okay, he doesn't know you.
If it's 3 a.m. and there's someone in my house, I'm probably gonna
you're
shoot
about
you.
to learn a lesson you didn't want to
Yeah.
learn.
Yep.
That's the old fuck around and find out.
Yep. Yeah. We need a board so we can be like, if you fuck around, you find out.
Great. Now this is going to be a teaching moment.
Yes.
Isn't that kind of what we do on the podcast anyways? Educate people?
This is it. Yeah. I mean, it's an education about
In a roundabout
life and
Yeah.
and shitty things that happen and how to just go forward with your life.
Yeah. How to build some resilience, take the steps you need to take.
Yep. Yeah, I do want to credit you a little bit with that because you're okay. You're okay.
come on.
I know. Hold on.
You're killing Jeremy right now.
Hold on. I'll don't
Yesterday was so good,
Don't.
Anna. Yesterday was so good because he got shit on all night long. Like, it was fantastic. Like, to the point where he actually just shut up and sat there.
worry. Wow.
Yeah.
I took the high road. I was
Wow.
like, I'm just going to let it happen.
Yeah.
Just let it happen.
And I was sitting over here giggling because usually I'm the one in the box.
The penalty box.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's like
Hey, everybody can take a
It's-
turn. Sometimes you're the bat. Sometimes you're the ball.
yeah.
Yeah.
You shared some of your dick-like tendencies with me. You shared your
rephrase
dick
that,
with me.
please.
Please
Rephrase that.
You shared your asshole tendencies with me.
That's not any better.
Yeah, I know. But you're such a dick that I can't.
I'm not a dick.
Yes, that's what dicks say. That's Hi, I'm Chris. Hi, Chris. What's our motto? I am not a dick. That's like your slogan at like Dicks Anonymous. But thank you.
Meetings
okay.
every Tuesday.
Okay, so thank you for sharing your stubbornness and your
I am stubborn.
and your resiliency with me to kind of like kick my ass a little bit to be like, hey, I can either do something that's positive that actually makes a fucking difference, or I can. I don't know why I felt the need to apologize from saying that.
I don't know.
Basically, what I said was, you can nut up or shut up.
Yeah, and like, so it was like I mean, I don't know what the catalyst was, or I mean, it was probably just the whole situation, but it was kind of like, okay, like I've tried being miserable, I've tried being obsessed and anxious and trying to like I like to analyze things and pick things apart, and I've tried to pick this apart in every which way I can to try and make sense of it, or I can just do something else and just chalk it up to, hey, this sucks, but it doesn't have to, or it doesn't have to always suck.
Get to a point of acceptance.
Yeah. And I think that's kind of...
Actually, I think what I said was, you got to embrace the suck.
Well, yeah.
Did you say that?
Oh, yeah. Because you have to. I mean, you're going down a new road. You don't know what that road's going to do.
Yeah.
You're creating a new path for yourself. So that path isn't an easy path. It's not paved. And you've got to put the work in. So you're cutting the grass, you're tilling the dirt, you're stamping it out, you're putting the gravel down, you're putting rebar into your concrete. You're doing all these little things.
I love his analogies.
So you're going through
from tilling to putting down rebar. I mean, you're building.
Yeah.
You're doing a lot. You're doing a lot there.
You're creating this path for yourself.
Not accurate on building a path, by the way, but
no.
Continue.
Is that not what you do?
Not quite.
I'm just throwing a whole bunch of different stuff in there.
Yeah. Like, and then you get some bricks and some cement and then some wood.
You take the dirt and you put it over the bricks, and then you have the 12 chickens in a coop, and then the half a dozen to the other.
And now you got a farm.
Now you're good.
Look at where you started and look at where you're going.
Yeah.
I mean, things are always going to change. You're going to keep upgrading, and you're going to keep building on it, and it's going to suck.
Yeah.
So you got to embrace the suck as you go through, because you're tearing things apart to rebuild them in a better way.
Yeah.
Well, and it's something that we've kind of talked about of, growth. Like, and we've talked about it in the terms of, the question has been asked, can you do this job for an extended period of time and not be changed? Mm-hmm. And I thought about it and thought about it and thought about it. And like, really the answer is pretty simple. Why wouldn't you change? Yeah. Because as you get older and get more experience and go through life, you're not going to be the same person you were, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, whatever. Yeah. Like, you need to grow and change and evolve. And I'm not talking about like it has to be in drastic ways, but the goal should always be self-improvement and doing a little bit better. Mm-hmm. So
you got to make sure you make the right change.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's
say
what
it.
growth
Just say it.
I only like to make the wrong kind of changes.
How is self-improvement
he's
clear?
talking here. You got to talk here.
How is self-improvement not
level.
clear?
Basic level. Basic level.
No, I agree with Jeremy. I think it's. I get what you're saying. I do. I get what you're saying. I think you should just kind of accept that you might not be the same person anymore. It doesn't even have to be actively changing. It's just being open to something different and open to something new. Yeah. You don't have to go all gung-ho about it, but just be open to it and not resist it and just be like, fighting every little push or pull in a different direction. Just lean into it,
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah, it's growth.
Kind of like surfing. Don't fight the wave.
Have you guys go with it. Have you guys seen Bridesmaids?
No.
Once.
Damn it. All right, never mind. That quote would have been wasted on both of you, unfortunately.
Yeah, sorry.
It's okay. There's a quote where the two of the main characters are talking, and they're like, well, do people really change? And the other one's like, yeah, I mean, I think we're changing all the time. And then because they're talking, they both have the same best friend. Mm-hmm. And one of them used to be best friends with this gal, and then this other girl's the new best friend. So she's like, well, I don't really think people change. I think they're just the same. And then the other girl's like, well, they're the same, but they get different. Like, they get better and then they change. So they just are gone. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think 100%. Like, you should, you're going to. It's just the course of life in general. Mm-hmm. because, like I said, you get more experience, you get older, hopefully you get a little wiser.
Yeah.
I mean, not always, but
I was going to say, this one over here, I'm still waiting, but,
and I'll tell you, Anna, to be honest, he's not the same person he was whenever we went through the academy.
I have heard that so many times from different people that you are not the same person that you were. And I will say, even when I first met you at that station, sorry.
I'm always evolving.
Yes. Like, yeah I mean.
I'm like a Pokemon.
I don't get that reference.
Yeah. Which one?
Any of them, they all evolve.
Do they? They're all kind of the same. I mean, Pikachu's Pikachu, though.
No.
It's been a
Would
long
you start
time.
using references that the rest of us can understand?
No, I'm having more fun this way.
Doesn't make for great conversation, though.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Catch up with the times, man.
As he's gotten a little older, a little wiser, believe it or not, he is less abrasive now.
I do know that, yes.
Yeah.
I do know that. But I believe I have some... I
went and bought a filter.
You exfoliated?
I do exfoliate. I want to take a shower. Is that loofah? It's amazing.
Did you get a new loofah?
Every few months. Whenever Jane buys, I don't know how often it is. I just show up and there's a new one. I'm like, okay.
You'd be like, all right.
I guess it was time to get a new
loofah
one.
I've had since I was 12, but okay.
I like that one. It still had 2 strings left.
She's like, I got you a
I wasn't
loofah,
done.
a toothbrush. Like, what was the time? Okay.
All right.
Oh.
God,
Yeah, if anything ever happens to her, I'm screwed.
You're going to
Yeah.
be... Yeah.
I hope she's got like a folder that'll get sent to me. It lists everything out I'm supposed
This
to do.
is your lifetime's worth of loofahs.
These are the bills we have. These are the
toothbrushes.
passwords.
Yeah.
This is how you pay them.
Yeah.
On this date, change this.
Yeah.
And on this date, change this.
Make sure you shower every day.
Yeah. Don't forget to breathe.
Yeah. This is how you make dinner.
Don't kid anybody. You know you're not going to cook.
Yeah.
No.
Which brings us to the other fucking story. It got brought up earlier today.
Oh, the
Mac and cheese
Oh, no.
with tuna fish in it.
Yeah. So
Same captain, right? So
he told me to start cooking. I was like, the only thing I can cook is mac and cheese and tuna. And he's like, fucking make it. I was like, okay.
So you put it together?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you make your mac and cheese. You take your tuna, drain the water, then stir it up.
I mean, I get...
It was the single worst meal that I have ever had on the fire department.
Guess who never had to cook again?
You.
For
I mean,
real.
that's
He
how you
didn't.
do it. If you
Yeah.
make something shitty enough.
I wasn't lying when I said I can't cook.
Now, I did have a captain that made something that was pretty horrendous, but I don't know. I was like, I'm just happy to not have to cook it. Like, I don't know. I'm on the, I don't have time to question what I'm putting in my mouth. I just need to eat it.
The other firefighter with us was pissed.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, well, yeah.
Remember how mad he was?
Well, yeah, because he was.
He was
it all started.
phenomenal cook.
Yeah. And he got tired of cooking.
I don't blame him.
I don't blame him either.
Was he the only one that
He was the
cooked?
only one
Yeah.
that was cooking. And
He was a great cook.
yeah. And I think we probably kind of took it for granted a little bit.
We
And
did.
Then our captain was like, okay, enough's enough. You guys are going to help too. And Chris found a way out.
Never make that mistake
I wasn't
again.
smart enough to.
You're like, well, I guess I'll try to make something actually
yeah.
decent. And
Well,
then
Jeremy's
they're
not
like,
a bad
okay.
cook. As long as it's not moose. Or elk. Whatever.
I was like,
And
do you cook moose? Like,
elk. And I cooked it perfectly.
No.
Sounds
It was
kinda good.
It was raw.
It's not raw.
It was raw.
Look,
It was like he just cut it out
I
and
just-
threw it on your plate.
here you go.
here's the thing.
He's like, I walked it over the fire, guys. I don't know what you want from me.
I waved it in the general direction of the fire. That's enough. With elk, if you overcook elk, it happens really, really fast. And
Which you did the first time.
Yeah.
Is it like really like gamey and
Well,
or just like chewy and
it gets super tough.
Yeah.
So like it has to be rare to be good. And those guys
Rare is
were
not raw.
those guys are the type that like well done steaks.
I do not like my steak well done.
I mean, he looks
No.
the type.
No.
Yeah.
He looks the type.
Shoe leather is
Ketchup.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ketchup on your yeah.
I
Yeah.
will stab you. You put ketchup on your steak.
I don't put ketchup on my steak.
All right.
So, but anyway, yes, I had some elk and I made it, and 15 years later,
It was terrible.
still talking shit about it. I ate all of it. It was fucking fantastic. It was
chicken tartare
phenomenal.
I
You
made
were like
was better.
more elk for me then.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just lost out.
Whoa.
So, yes, cooking at the fire station.
You cut into it and it was literal blood came out. You're like, no. No.
Are you done?
Trying to hold back vomit.
You just let
I mean,
it go.
that's more views. We'll use
Yeah.
that as the picture.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Now I'm getting that GI smell again.
Best call ever. Best call ever.
I was fine till that medic wafted that blanket. I threw up.
Did you? Oh.
Yeah. So
He almost ripped a sliding glass door off the tracks to get out of this apartment.
I didn't want to puke in the apartment. I really didn't.
It was like, now granted, I've been standing in this with the medic for a good couple minutes before
He couldn't smell it.
he brings the cot in with our captain. And the
Oh,
best part
you're
is
one of those guys.
we had
This was bad.
we had just finished eating lunch.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
no.
just finished.
We
And
had,
by
like,
the way, we
Still,
couldn't.
Yeah.
I couldn't make those sandwiches again.
It was that
for,
big sandwich. Oh, it was years.
Yeah.
Yeah, years.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was.
It was a GI bleed.
Yeah, and he'd been
Been
the guy.
3
been,
days.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was-
I felt bad for him. I really did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, the
Well, you
covers
can't
were
help
on.
it.
No,
You
no,
know. Yeah.
it wasn't his fault at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then so you could smell it. It was bad. So I was like, I'm not going in there. I'll stay
Yeah.
out here.
You get that waft, and you're like,
And then
oh, it's
The
overwhelming.
covers go like this for some
Yeah.
reason, straight up in the air, and right.
Yeah.
I made it about 2 or 3 steps outside. And
Yeah. It's a good thing it was a first floor apartment.
Oh yeah. You'd be puking off a balcony.
Yeah.
I would have,
All the people underneath.
because there's nowhere to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
So
That
then I walked around all the way back around. And where'd you come from? I threw up.
yeah. And his face was a color that is not natural for a human being to have.
Oh, I'm sure.
And you're like, are you,
You okay,
okay?
man?
That was bad.
I mean, it was bad.
We've all been there. I mean, I've had.
That's the one
I've
that
had
got
my
me.
fair
I've thrown up
share.
since, but that one got me.
I've had my fair share. I haven't thrown up. Yeah, I hadn't thrown up from any smells. I came very, very close. Very, very close. I actually almost threw up because of the. Have you ever thrown up because of the amount of blood that you're? That was
The
weird.
amount doesn't bother me. Like blood doesn't bother. It was that
blood-
mixture.
Blood doesn't bother me either until it was like I could smell
All of the blood?
I could smell the blood.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
it was like, oh.
So that doesn't bother me. But when it's the poo and the puke,
Well, this dude's fistula ruptured, so it was a lot of blood.
that is a lot of blood.
He didn't die though, so
Just throw a tourniquet on it.
that didn't stop it. His fistula was like almost all the way up in his armpit, so I had to put I put the tourniquet right up above it, and it didn't work. So then my partner and I were like, I mean, we were just like fucking wrapping this thing up like crazy because we just couldn't get it to stop. So,
So
I wonder
I
if
saw.
combat guys would work on that.
yeah, I don't know.
So here's what
That's a
you
good
do
question.
if, like, for some reason you find yourself in that situation before. I've seen this work. So you take a 50 caliber round and you take the end off of it, or a shotgun shell, and you pour the gunpowder in it, and then you take a stick that's on fire and touch it to it. Works every time.
Cauterize it.
Cauterize that shit right there.
I'll write that down
Yeah,
for next
I
time.
know
Yeah.
Schwarzenegger did that. Stallone did that.
yeah. I mean, if I saw it in a
It's
movie,
tried and-
it's
yeah.
tried and true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like the whole bullet hole through his side, and he does that. I'm sure
Getting picked
and
up
then-
by the arrow.
Yeah,
And
flames shooting out both
Yeah.
sides. I'm sure that didn't do anything to his internal organs.
No.
I'll do that. I'll keep that.
Hollywood.
I'll keep that handy.
Yeah, it just
I should have done that for this
from
guy.
an-
I
from-
mean, he should have.
from an EMT to a paramedic.
Yeah.
I mean,
Thank you.
sometimes
sometimes
Yeah.
you got to think outside the box.
yeah,
Yeah.
adapt and overcome.
I did feel bad. I like once because we were on our way to the hospital and I was like screaming at my partner. I was like, either get there faster or get back here because this is not going to go south really quick. And we got to the hospital and like he jumped in and I kind of just like, I had to just like step away for a moment because I mean, I'm just like, blood is just like all over and I'm just like, okay, like I just need a second. I was like, okay. And then I just got right back. But it was like this like, okay, cool. And then, yeah.
Yeah, not much you can do about that.
No. And it was actually kind of funny because he's just laying there and he's just like he's like humming. He's like, I'm like,
he did a good job of staying calm.
I'm like, we're going to get this taken care of. And he's like, I'm fine. I'm like, yeah, you're not going to be fine. Like, okay.
How high was he?
Well, his blood pressure was pretty low. So I don't think he was all there.
That'll happen.
So, yeah, it was,
I mean, when you have a rupture like that, all bets are off.
yeah.
It's whatever you can get.
Man,
Stop it.
it was so funny coming back
Just
down.
put a new one in on the other side.
It was so funny coming back down to the ambulance. You know, have you ever had those calls where you come back down to the ambulance and you look inside and you're like, holy shit, like that, like you don't realize how much crap, how much stuff was in there. And my partner and I are just kind of silent and we're cleaning it up. And I was like, hey man, I'm really sorry. I forgot it was that time of the month. I forgot to bring a tampon. It was the only thing I knew. It was the only way to like break, kind of break the like, oh fuck, moment of just being like, okay, that was fun. And now we laugh about it to this day. Hey, you got it.
That happens.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a heavy flow day.
I do want to ask you guys, actually I have two questions. Part one, how are things now that you're back in the field, or like how? I know I've asked you this before, but like, I mean,
Just sore.
yeah,
About it.
is everything else just kind of feels the same?
For the most
Whether you want to
Yeah.
take that emotionally, physically.
Emotionally, yeah. I mean, just get right back into it. Took a few shifts but there's always that relearning period for your body after being off and surgeries, because you never come back the same.
Sometimes you come back different and better.
Yeah.
Sometimes you embrace change.
Yeah.
But I
and
mean,
grow.
there's not pain anymore, which is a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
But just there's soreness. Just working on that.
Well, going on that fitness journey, it's going to help with that, buddy. I promise.
Anyway, what's your part two?
Thank you. Part two is what, and I apologize, I'm sure you guys have talked about this before, but what do you guys do to decompress from like shitty calls or like bad shifts or, those calls that are just a little bit beyond the normal stress?
So for me, we talked about what my role is now. And while I was floating, I had a couple of calls that were really crappy. And I was fortunate enough to, the station that I was at, whenever had said calls, everybody was pretty open about talking. So I was able to talk with other people and kind of, process that way. And, I can always talk to my wife if I, feel the need to. Play video games. I actually have hobbies now that I didn't have before. So I think that helps immensely. Mm-hmm. So, but mostly it's actually doing kind of what we're supposed to do anyway whenever we have that bad call, is talk to people.
Yeah.
And, talk to the rest of the crew. And, initially I was doing it because, I'm the captain, I have to make sure that everybody else is good.
Yeah.
And then kind of realizing, okay, well, that's really just, I'm still not dealing with me.
Yeah.
And then I had to kind of do that whole thing where it's like, okay, it's more valuable for them even if I show that, hey, this bothered me too, and it's okay for me to do that.
Yeah.
So, and it was, it's a learning process of, being in charge or whatever, going from one of the guys who being led to doing the leading
Yeah.
And this was no different. I mean, we talked about it on the podcast multiple times, before either of us got promoted about, hey, we need to do this and this is what needs to happen and all that stuff. But then even when it did happen, it was still that, well, like I know what to do, but still feel uncomfortable doing it
Going through that process.
Yeah, until I actually started doing it. And now it's one of those things. If we have a bad call, or if I know that, the pumper, the ambulance that is at my station, or the truck even, if I know that they've run a bad call, then I go check on them. And it's, hey, you guys need to talk. What's going on? Whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm not like trying to overstep anybody or, go around their captain or whatever. It's just the way that I see myself as being the district safety officer. That's just part of it.
Yeah.
I'm checking on my people because they are my people. I'm not in charge of any of them, but I feel like I'm responsible for all of them. Mm-hmm. And that goes from on the fire ground to in the station or whatever. So I want to take care of them as much as I can and help out any way that I can.
Yeah.
So,
well, it's like their wellness impacts their ability to function and to do their job and to be alert, focused and
yeah,
you're
100% correct.
No, I mean, I think that's really cool that you're setting the tone and like giving them permission. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, I don't know. There's this, what's her name? Do you guys ever watch Brene Brown?
I've seen some of her stuff.
She talks about like if you have a friend that like loses a child or something, and then like you're weird about talking about your own child or something, like you're basically kind of subtly making it that conversation is no longer available. Like that's no longer an option.
Yeah.
And so by opening up that dialogue, you're giving everybody permission. Okay, like if I do want to share, I'm able to.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, that's awesome that you do that, and they're lucky to have you. So
I'm lucky to have all of them. Most of them, some of them, one or two of them. No, and I've said it before and I'll say it again. I landed in a really good spot with, a lot of good people to work with. Mm-hmm. And I enjoy, even though it's all the way across the city, I enjoy going to that station.
Well, that says a lot too. You know, I mean, not that proximity to your home is always the best, but it's, I think it says a lot when you're enjoying something that's out of the way.
Yeah.
Well,
and it's about, and we've said it before, just in conversation talking about it, it's not necessarily where you work, it's who you work with. Mm-hmm. And
100%.
if you think about it, like logically, you're spending at least a third of your life with these people.
Yeah.
So you better be able to get along, and you should, at least have some level of friendship or camaraderie.
Yeah.
That should develop.
Yeah.
There's nothing worse than going to a station or having to go to a station that's like, man, I hope so-and-so's off today, or, something like that, and to be quite honest, I was that guy for a while. I was the guy that nobody wanted to be around because I was fucking miserable. Yeah. And I took it out on everybody else. And, I don't want to be that guy, and I don't want other people to be that person either.
Yeah.
So it's just all about moving the needle just a little bit.
Just changing.
Yeah, just changing, growing.
You hear that, Chris? He's changing.
I blanked out.
He actually snored on the podcast last night.
Oh, God, did you really?
To the point where his microphone had to be turned off. Because he was trying to be funny, and it really just came out as him being a dick, surprisingly.
Weird.
He's going to do it again.
Nope.
Dude, come on.
That was a lot, I thought.
Yeah.
It's like, careful. Our ears. My ears.
I'm just worried about, the people that actually do, the tens and tens of listeners that we do have might turn it off if he's doing that.
The two listeners. I mean, 3. I mean, myself included.
Okay, 3. Maybe 4.
Do you follow the podcast on Spotify by chance?
So I don't use Spotify all that much, but I do follow you guys on Instagram, and so whenever I see one that like sparks my interest, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go listen to that.
Okay.
So
we'll make sure you're subscribed on Spotify.
I will.
That'll help us out.
I will. I may actually be subscribed. I just don't use it. Like
use it.
I'm more of a YouTube person. Like YouTube. Like I'm a YouTube person.
Yeah.
I'm not a Spotify person.
So, and one of the main reasons that we even started using Spotify was because I was getting feedback from people who were like, they wanted to listen to the podcast, but because we were just on YouTube, they couldn't like have it in their phone or on their phone playing while they were driving or whatever, or because it was always had to be on, right? So with Spotify, you can turn it on and then change your screen. You could do whatever. Then it still plays the audio portion of it.
Yeah.
And so after getting several, hey man, do you have just an audio version or something like that, man? Because that would be super sweet and awesome. And I'm like, hey, bro, I got you.
Asking and you shall deliver.
Yeah.
Asking you shall receive.
I'm Batman.
All right.
Got a little change in my pocket, yeah. The jokes are writing themselves.
Oh, so I watched Black Adam the other night. Have you seen that yet? Mm-hmm. Black Adam? No. I liked it a lot. I thought The Rock did a good job.
I think The Rock did a good job. I think overall the movie missed.
I enjoyed it.
I didn't say I didn't enjoy it.
There was one scene I really didn't
missed.
like, and it was the kid that was in it.
The giant man, Adam Smasher or whatever his name.
No, the
kid. Yeah,
he didn't do a bad job overall, but it was when he was getting everybody fired up. Mm-hmm. I was like, dude, I turned around and went home after that speech. Like, there was no enthusiasm.
you can't blame him for the script writers, bro.
No, I don't think it was the words. It was the way he delivered it. And
that's a director problem.
And I didn't look him up, but I kind of got the sense he was fairly new.
Yeah.
So I'm not mad at him. It's like, just work on it.
Well,
and that was probably the direction he got. So
yeah, I mean, it's not going to be
on the director for that.
Not going to be an issue because he won't be playing that role again because James Gunn has gutted.
He gutted good DC.
So here's the thing. So I like.
What nerd?
We know that.
Yeah.
Yep.
We're all card carrying members. Okay. Meetings on Thursday in case you forgot. Yeah. The problem with DC is they've just never delivered on any of the movies except for the Batman movies. That's it.
Yeah.
See, I still like the Superman movies.
See, now I liked Henry Cavill's Superman.
Yeah.
That was good. It was too long, which was the knock on it. But like,
you know what? I like the
Justice
Snyder cut for the Justice League. I liked it a lot.
I never watched it, but I'm not a Zack Snyder fan.
It was really good.
And I don't like... It's the same problem I have with the Michael Keaton Batmans. I don't like that Tim Burton style of really weird colors.
Like comic-y.
Yeah, but not comic. It's like... It's not even comic-y. It's like... It's just weird to me.
Like with when Val Kilmer?
No.
Val Kilmer.
Val Kilmer, Michael Keaton...
Because that was kind of like that had some funky colors and like weird things to it too.
Yeah, like Dayglow orange and neon, all of that kind of weird stuff.
See, I like Michael Keaton's Batman. That's Batman.
I think he did a fantastic job, but dude, Christian Bale is Batman.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. He nailed that role. And
I thought he did great, but
I'll
Michael Keaton's
honest,
my Batman.
I'll be honest. I didn't hate Ben Affleck as Batman.
I didn't either. I had low standards for it. I was like, the bar is set low, man. Let's see what you got.
Yeah.
And I was
I have not
seen I liked it.
I've not seen him as Batman yet.
So
is it worth it?
Yeah,
I mean, so.
Yeah, I thought so. I think the movie kind of failed. The Batman versus Superman, but I don't think it was because of his performance. I think it was just
the movie itself.
Yeah. DC goes in I think part of it is Marvel hit on a winning formula of, they had the right actors, they had the right characters, the right, writers and all that stuff. And they did it in a way that wasn't like super comic-y, like with like just like weird stuff and outlandish, whatever.
Thor's kind of gotten that way.
But yeah.
It's still, it works for me.
Yeah. Well, and it works for Thor.
Yeah.
Because of whatever. But for some reason, and I don't know if it's the editing or the script or like too much studio interference or whatever, but all of the DC movies have just, it's like they're almost there, but they just miss.
Yeah.
And it's enough of a miss to go, what the hell? Like, you had it. You were there.
Yeah.
And you fucked it up.
What did, okay, I already kind of know. I think I already know the answer to this. What did you guys think of Wonder Woman? Gal Gadot.
So I actually liked the first Wonder Woman movie.
I thought it was pretty good.
I thought it was really
Yeah.
good. I thought the story was really good, as far as like an origin story goes, and I thought it was done well.
Yeah.
1984.
I didn't watch that one.
I've been
It was
holding
awful.
off on watching that because I've heard weird things about it.
I did not like it. Like, her performance is fine.
Yeah.
She did fine.
Yeah.
But the whole thing of having Chris Pine come back, but he's in somebody else's body, and then it was just like, again, there's a lot of potential there. It just feels like they missed.
Yeah.
And how did this become a movie podcast? We talked about that earlier, about how we did shitty movie podcast early, and we weren't going to do that again. I don't know. We
I don't
get
know.
stuck on tangents when you're
Yeah.
here, Anna, like more than any other guests.
So we were going through Vudu the other day looking for new movies to buy and watch. It's crap. It's
Yeah.
crap upon crap.
Yeah. There's
And
nothing.
I'm like, I'm not going to pay money to see any of these.
Yeah.
Ooh, you guys should watch the new series, The Last of Us. It's based off that game.
I didn't like the game.
The series is really good. It has
They've been watching it at the station. I haven't been.
I feel like it kind of is like
It's
I don't
very
know.
Walking Dead-y.
It is.
almost.
It is. But there's something. It's almost like there's a different vibe to it. Like it's kind of like Stranger Things meets maybe like Hunger Games meets Walking Dead. So it kind of has like that. I don't know, just
Yeah.
that kind of vibe. But I mean, I thought it was pretty good. But I also really like was it Pedro Pascal?
Mhm. The Mandalorian.
I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I liked him. I like him in Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't hate that show. Boba Fett didn't live up to
Yeah, I was
expectations.
disappointed in that one,
but
but I see potential in it. I'm waiting for the Ahsoka show. I'm excited about that one.
is that even going to happen now?
I think it still is.
Yeah, I don't know. To be honest,
Obi-Wan kind of disappointed me a little bit.
I liked Obi-Wan.
I think I had really high expectations for it.
Yeah. So here's what annoys me about all of like a lot of those is they're like the limited series thing.
Yeah.
Where it's like 6 episodes and that's it. That's the whole show.
Yeah.
It's like, just make a movie.
Like I just want more though.
Yeah. But I mean, that's my point though. It's
Yeah.
like, make a movie or make a series. One or the other. Don't make
Yeah.
a movie and then split it up into 6 episodes.
Yeah.
Well, because there's so many routes they could take with each one of those characters.
Yeah.
And I know everybody makes the argument like the whole series is about Darth Vader. All Star Wars is basically around him.
Mhm.
But I want to know what happened after Revenge of the Sith. I want to see him hunt down the Jedi. I want to see him go deeper down the hole of the dark side. I want to see that. I mean, there's fan-made stuff that's been really good. There's comic books that have been pretty good.
And I think that's probably the reason why you'll never see it. There's too much contradictory material.
I just pick a path. I mean, I don't care if they contradict the comic books. or the fan stuff. I'm okay with it.
Yeah, but
You just want something.
you're just one voice. I mean, that's why it's taken so long for
think a
them
lot
to
of-
make the sequel for Heir to the Empire. Like, why they're just now doing that years and years and years.
Yeah.
I mean, that book was written in the freaking 90s or late 80s or something.
Yeah, but look how many books came out and how many different paths they go down.
Oh, I know.
And then
Look,
you
you can look at my bookshelf.
And then you get the movies, and it's something different.
Yeah,
Like, because you see who the characters are like, oh, we're going to go this way.
yeah,
Like, they're talking about bringing Thrawn in.
yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
And you're like, okay, it's going to go this way, but we're going to get something completely different
Yeah,
after reading the books.
yeah. They're not going to follow the source material,
No.
which is going to disappoint a lot of people, probably
But
including me.
if it's done right, you're not.
There's still a level of disappointment there, which is probably why I didn't like Boba Fett,
Yep, I'm in trouble.
because
I was supposed to be home half hour ago.
really,
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
okay. The wife texted me like 20 minutes ago and was like, "Where are you?" And I'm like, "You know where I am." It's okay.
okay.
It's weird that our
since-
wives like us. Do you ever think about that?
Well,
Do you think that
What
about your wife?
That's weird that she likes me.
Yeah, like she wants to be around you.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to be around me sometimes, so
I mean, I'm like, I don't know why she wants to be
like
around
right
me.
now?
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
We're kind of off on a tangent right now.
Yeah,
Star Wars, so
yeah.
wrap it up.
Wrap it up. All right. Final thoughts.
Oh, I don't want to. You go first. I don't know what my final thoughts are.
Chris.
Yeah, I don't really have one tonight.
All right.
Be positive, man.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Personal growth.
Be happy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Personal growth. Make if you got lemons, make a lemonade.
Better have sugar.
For
You
your
know.
lemonade.
Adapt and overcome. That's
The legs feed the wolf.
I don't even know what that means.
You don't know what that means? You don't know what that's from?
No.
Do you know what that's from? Oh my God. You guys call it Miracle. Come on. The hockey movie.
I watched that movie once.
Oh my God.
It's about hockey. I'm not
Yeah.
watching
It's
it.
about America and resilience and striving and us
It
beating
was
the
about
Russians.
beating the Russians, and that was it.
It's about overcoming.
I've already seen that movie. It's called Rocky 4.
It's about everything we've talked about resilience and changing and growing and accepting the suck.
There
Life's
you go.
not about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit, and you get up and keep moving forward.
I like that. That relates.
Rocky Balboa.
Probably the single greatest speech in a movie ever.
Yeah. That's my second favorite speech.
Yeah.
What's your top favorite speech?
Jimmy V.
Oh, from the cancer thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good one. But that's a real life person giving a real life speech.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
we're talking about movie
We're
speeches.
talking about movie speeches, though.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about speeches. It doesn't matter. I don't care who said it.
They ain't talking about
Who is
speeches.
this guy?
I don't know. He likes to change the rules. All right.
That's my world.
All right, everybody. So yeah, those are your final thoughts. It's not about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. So yeah, embrace the suck.
Yep. It's worth it.
Personal growth. Keep moving forward. If you are struggling, reach out. There are resources out there. If you know somebody that's struggling, reach out. Let them know you care. And yeah, personal growth, all that good stuff. And thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you next time.